So this one's gonna be again about nature and being in nature and noticing nature and nature, I guess. So yeah, with that being said, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics fucking podcast. And I'm pretty fucking pumped to be here as fucking always. I'm just trying to make my life a little easier and record beforehand for tomorrow. So it's actually Thursday. I'm recording for Friday because I do just have to meet, I'm having a meeting on Friday, and therefore I'm just gonna be here, or I'm just gonna record now because now I do just have some extra time, because actually today is the only fucking day, in the first week of me actually having my holidays, where I was able to actually structure my day in such a way that it is possible for me to just not get to bed at 2 fucking a.m. It's gonna be amazing. It's really gonna be amazing, because I kind of feel like, okay, going to bed a little earlier, like 10 p.m. or something, or 11 p.m. is nice. It's really nice. It feels great, and especially when I then just, when I'm then able to get up pretty fucking early. I like that. I'm crazy. Yeah. Even though, when I've had some days of, actually waking up really early, being productive, doing my shit, I also feel like, waking up a little bit later and just resting a little bit more. It always comes up to just, what I've been doing, whether I've got enough sleep or not, and those things. So this episode, we are going ahead with the article from the ideas.ted.com website, which was all about nature. If you're interested in the first part, which was actually a good one, it really was a good one, then just check out my channel. The thumbnail is something with 2 trees and me and nature, or connecting to nature something, or connecting with nature, something like this. But yeah, I guess we should just go ahead and see. Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you very much, you fucking asshole. You've just seen all the photos that I do just make for the posts, for all various kind of things. I could actually start the episode again, but nah. Is there something? Nah, there is nothing fucked up there. Nah. So yeah, the third thing, as you now can see, is wonder. I'm just seeing still that I maybe should close certain things, but actually I do not want to. But I really fear that he is just cranking it up just so incredibly that I'm not able to do anything about it. Yeah, never mind. So the third thing is wonder, and I cannot assume anything what he means by wonder. Maybe just being interested in what's around you. I think we'll just see. So when it comes to the natural world, Sampson says that love and wonder should go hand in hand. If we want our children to connect with it, they need to have the chance to be captivated by it, he says. You can give them amazing experiences like harvesting and eating plants that they themselves planted and nurtured. Growing plants that are native to your area can insects and birds to your Growing plants that are native to your area can insects and birds to your yard can get birds and insects to your yard, windowsill or balcony, giving children a lesson in some of the different creatures that make up an ecosystem. And at Sampson, I'm not arguing that we have a back to nature movement where we abandon technology. I'm not saying we need to take our smartphones and toss them off the nearest bridge. I think you shouldn't really. Although I admit I am tempted to do that on a weekly basis. Seems to not be great. And there I guess, I do just have to say something. If you're really feeling this way, I assume that you should definitely restrict yourself from using your phone, or just limit the time that you are on your phone, because if you can clearly see and clearly notice that this is actually something that's making you feel bad or worse, then you should clearly restrict it, and then you should definitely not spend as much time on your phone dealing with some shit, I assume, or dealing with, loads of messages, loads of notifications, loads of people that actually want something from you, I guess you should then change something up, and not be like, I can't do anything about it. It is just what it is. I need to just be available 24/7. You do not have to be available all the time, all the fucking time. You really do not have to do that. But I know the feeling, I kind of know the feeling of, I assume, being overwhelmed. I guess this is actually what he's feeling, and that he's recognizing that he's overwhelmed by all the notifications, as I said, or all these people that want something from him, all these various kind of things. I assume that it is, bad and fucked up, and it, well, yeah, especially if you're just such a person that is maybe publicly available, like I might soon be, and other things, like, people that are just, well, high in demand, I would say. I think that it's just really about rules. And there I'm just thinking about one particular guy, which is Seth Godin. I've been talking about him before, because he's just such an amazing guy. He really is. Alone his just, or only his voice. Why I'm in my microphone. Alone his voice is just so amazing. It's just so kind of calming you down. I don't know if it's just me, but he's just really kind of intensively calming me down. It's just amazing, his voice is just so fucking, like, calm and so kind of sensitive, and just it's somehow kind of, well, rubbing your back while he's talking, I guess. No, never mind. You should definitely check out his podcast Akimbo. It is AKIMBO. It is a really great one. He's just answering a lot of questions. He's talking about various kind of things that he's seeing, that he's recognized, because he says he is someone who recognizes things and then tells them to people. And I really like this kind of just way to say that, well, he writes, articles or actually blog posts, and he also is a teacher, because, as you might know, he has a school or course, actually, which is called Alt MBA, like Alt, the thing you have on your fucking keyboard, an MBA. And I guess, and I assume it is actually a great concept, and I think it's a great way and a great thing, because he was really bothered by the way just people teach, I assume, which is something that I am as well, the whole kind of thing, like, and I do not really want to complain about the school system. This is not what I want to say, I think it's maybe also about the approach that we all have, we all have students, because I'm still a student. Something that you might know, I'm still going to my graphic design school. I'm having 1 year left, actually, which is the 5th year of the school, which is the next year, actually. And then I'm finished. And then theoretically and practically, I could work, if I want to, or I could study something. It always depends on what you would like to do. And so on. I think I just, want to work something. Something that Seth also has been talking about. It really is somehow unnecessary that you're just trying to get some degree or something, just some piece of paper that's just, well, lets other people assume that you're smart, that you're good at what you're doing, instead of actually spending the money. And this is just something that's it really adds something to the equation, for me at least, because in my country you do not have to pay anything for being in university. Nothing. It is all just covered by the government, I assume, I guess. I really don't know, but I assume you don't have to pay anything, and it is really good, and it is then just something completely different than in just other countries like the United States, or also the United Kingdom, I assume, or just, England. Because there you just have to pay for being in university. And, it just leads to just a quite different decision. Like, I don't have to pay something, I just go there and attend it quite, for sure there's going to be just some materials that I'm needing, like, a PC or something like this, there's always going to be something, but I don't have to pay for learning something itself, which just might change some decisions of other people in the States or in the UK. I don't know, it could actually be the case. if you're from the UK or from the States, it would actually be interesting to know what you're doing. So if you're in university or if you have studied just before you started to work, and if your decision would have been different if you have not been just studying, if it was free, because I know there's just a lot of student debt and all these various kind of things that I understand are fucked up and lead to actually saying, no, I do not want to study because it's just such a lot of money. It really is like 120k as Tim Ferriss, for example, would have paid if he would have done it, which he didn't. It's just amazing. It's just insane. Actually, it is really a lot. 120k, you can use this money to just start a business. Actually, a pretty great one, I would say. But yeah, everyone has to decide what he wants to do, what she wants to do. I think I'll just go on. So instead, you can use technology, and this is actually the initial point that I was actually willing to make. Technology is great, but sometimes I guess we're using it in a way that just doesn't make it great. For example, being overwhelmed by things. Of course, it's not feeling good. It's gonna feel bad. Well, so instead, you can use technology in the form of science apps and nature apps and science websites and nature websites, as a tool to inform children's. The iNaturalist app allows you to, he says, take a picture of any plant or any animal, upload it, and get some suggestions as to what it might be, and get experts to help you identify it. That data is then used by scientists to monitor changing environmental conditions, so a screen can literally turn a child into a scientist. There are also a huge amount of cams set up in the world's wild places that can give kids a real-time look at a variety of habitats and the creatures that live in them. Actually, I didn't know that. And I think I'm just gonna look that up. Nature cams. Would be interesting if live bear cam in Alaska, Riverwatch, and whatsoever. Explore.org. There actually seems to be some dedicated sites for this, but I think I'm just gonna have to close something. Let's save that because I'm just I have been working on my diploma today actually, and actually I'm working on the idea for my diploma. I could have started, which is something that bothers me quite a lot because I'm just waiting for my teacher that is somehow accompanying me just on this whole journey to actually validate and see whether this idea is good or not, or whether we should do this or not. Because basically I would have been able to research a lot of things that that I have to do. Like I do just have to write, I think 40,000 not words but like, what is it? I don't know, like 40,000 X as a research, or as practically as research. And I could have done this in this week of, actually getting to this idea that I'm having or that I'm working on at the moment. That is hopefully going to be the idea. But I could have worked on the research itself. I still did some research, of course, which, which might... Well, there is actually a fucking bear. I gotta show you this. Because it is actually pretty nice. I think there is one... No. There was just some sound. I'm very sorry for that. Chrome bear. Yeah, there you have some bear. Isn't this just amazing? Like, you can watch a fucking bear doing something. And there is... No, I don't want to have information. And there's some nests. And what is this? Well, it's quite amazing, to be honest. It really is. And there's the bear from another angle. Could this be the case? Pop live cam. Hide other cams. And a cat in a room. Well... Viewers. What? 157 fucking viewers. Let's actually just quickly watch this one. You know, it is actually amazing that something like this exists, and well, it's actually on YouTube. It is live on YouTube. And it's actually not a bad quality either. It's just, pretty fine. It's really interesting. I haven't known this. I haven't really known this before. So maybe you can do something, or you know what you can do today. But yeah, let's actually move on. So, motherfucker. So we can use science and technology for developing skills, developing information, or getting information. Which is great. So what's more, cultivating a relationship with the natural world. So what's more, cultivating a relationship with the natural world goes beyond enhancing your child's immediate well-being. I don't understand the structure actually. So it's crucial for their future and our planets. As Samson points out, if people don't spend any time outside, why are they going to care about these places, let alone live sustainably and take care of them? He says, get outside, take your kids there and let them connect deeply. It is one of the greatest gifts you can ever give them, and I promise you will have a lot of fun along the way. Which is actually the case. It is not all about, okay, it's gonna be great for your, children, you're gonna teach them something or some shitty, which is good, it's not shitty, but some stuff like this, it's also about having fun. Why would you do something that's, or which process is actually really shit? I think it's the same exact thing as working on something that you don't like for some goal that you would like. You're just having the process of something that is complete. I do just have to close the fucking window. I'm always having this kind of bird in the background. Or was it a hawk? I don't know. I really don't. But why would you work on something that is quite shitty and that's pissing you on so fucking much just to get to a certain goal? Like the goal of being rich. It's not gonna be fun, and just getting rich or getting successful is gonna take some time. And it's gonna be just some really shitty time if you're working on something that you really don't like for such a long time. Yeah, time. It's been a great article, I would say. It's been just really interesting. And there you can see on the bottom of every ideas.ted.com article, there's always the video, which is correlated to it. It's actually, which is a little unfortunate, it's not the exact same thing. It is quite something different, but it is from the same guy, and it is about the same thing. Yeah. Would actually be interesting once to go through TED Talks and react to it, even though I'm just figuring out in my head or just seeing in my head, okay, this is definitely something that is, really not original, definitely not fucking original, but, also the copyright issues could be a problem somewhere in time in the future. And also you could watch it yourself. And also it is just something so fucking clickbaity. It really is. The funny thing is that often I'm seeing those videos where just people react to certain stuff and people watch it. And people really watch, people watch people watching videos. So actually they watch a video of someone who is just watching a video or a movie or a talk or whatever it will be. Maybe it's working. I really don't fucking know. I could do it. I could do it now. And I'm just really thinking whether I should do it or not. But I guess there is no sound actually. If I would actually just turn on some video, I guess there would be no sound. I at least hope, because then you would have also heard some sounds from that bird, from that hawk. But yeah, I actually could use the time that I've left to show you the ideas.ted.com website, which I think not done yet. There you can see there are all the articles they not have, but they just published in the recent, and there are, I think, a few main categories, and I think you can also see them there. Yeah, the main categories are tech, business, art and design, science, and we humans. Even though the we human section is only quite a section in the section, because no, just want you to be there. Please be there. Never mind. So there you have the sections. I'm sorry that the screen is somehow popping off and on and whatever. I guess that's not bothering you. I hope that's not bothering you. Screen time can also be family time. Here's how to do it. Love the news but hate clickbait and fluff. Here's how to get more quality and less quantity. Smart ways to handle snark and trolls on social media. All various kind of things, and they're actually pretty well. They're really well, written. There is a lot of information in every one of these, and they're just really, really short. So, if you do not have something to do at the moment, and you just really feel in need of some information, some knowledge, something that you need, probably a good idea would be to just check out a few articles of them, because they really are good and short, and they can provide you something. They really can. But something that I actually wanted to go through, I hope that I've just showed you enough. Yeah, because I've also found an article about 24 books, which are each under 200 pages, recommended by TED speakers. I could actually do a whole episode on these. Or I could start right now and also make a whole episode on these, even though it feels a little bit just, fucked up, because I'm then just talking about the same shit 2 times. Which is not something bad for me, but maybe it's something bad for somebody else that is just watching this or listening to this. I don't know. Should we just go through one of these? Social issues, creativity and advice, graphic novels, Batman. Why not? Really, why not? History and science. Well, let's actually go through fiction and literature. Well, this is the longest one, actually. Is there a really short one? Creativity. Well, actually, let's actually go through graphic novels. I know that some people from my school actually did also a graphic novel for their diploma, which was, if I remember correctly, it was not bad. It really was not bad. It could have been better, but I think just the really initial thought and the initial work was pretty fine. The end result then was just, not as good as it could have been, I guess. But can I make it a little bit bigger? Thanks a lot, motherfucker. And there you can see the software. There. Is it big enough? I assume it is. Why I'm speaking so fucking retarded. Sorry. So strange. Yeah. So the first graphic novel is actually Batman Year One by Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli. Whatever. So it's a great novel about urban crime that just happens to have Batman in it. Well, just out of nowhere, there is Batman in it. Actually, would it be interesting if it's just, really just not about Batman, but it's about just some crime and something like this, and more about, like, just crime, and Batman's just seems to be in there. Which is something that I don't know, I don't believe, but, let's actually then have a look at it. If we do just have the time, then... And there's also a TED Talk on it, or something that is correlated to it. So Chip Kit with double D, and the TED Talk, Designing Books is No Laughing Matter. And the second graphic novel is Moon Cop by Tom Gould, or Gold. It is with A and U. Gould's book about a police officer looking for hope on a moon colony was a favorite for me. Too often, graphic novelists tend not to leave much for the imagination. Moon Cop, on the other hand, contains long, beautiful, and thought-provoking Silences. It is a fast read and I smiled the entire time. There's also a TED Talk correlated, I guess, from Savad Salim, or Savad Salem, or Salim. Might be Salim, might be Salem, might be Salem. I don't know. Yeah. We just then have a look at it, I guess. And yeah, the TED Talk is called "Why I Keep Speaking Up Even When People Mock My Accent." I assume that he is just a really, really bad accent, not in terms of it being bad, but in terms of it being just really fucked up for him, because people always just notice and say like, where you're coming from. Some shit like this, but don't judge, I think, you would say the same, or I would say the same if I would just not be him, or if he was just someone else. Yeah, but let's actually see whether I can find them. Batman Year One. Batman Year One. Graphic novel. Easily to find. It is actually not that expensive. It's like €6, €11. There's actually a Wikipedia page. Oh, it's from 1987. Is it actually is it the real one? It is actually the real one. Fuck yeah. It's actually the old one. Yeah, pretty interesting. I'll let you show. Wait a second. Yeah, here it is. Batman Year One. There is the cover actually, but let's actually see. Year One, later referred to as Batman Year One. So it actually is the case. So, as far as I can tell, that, initially it was only kind of about crimes and whatsoever, and then they thought about Batman. Well, yeah. It's an American comic book story published by DC Comics, which recounts the superhero Batman's first year as a crime fighter. It was written by Frank Miller, illustrated by David Mazzucchelli, colored by Richmond Lewis, and lettered by Todd Klein, or Clean, whatever. So it was actually, and here's the cover, originally published in 1987, which is just some time, I would say. And there's the ISBN if you want to buy it. I don't know. I'm not gonna read the story, but it would be nice to see some inside thing. Will I get fucked if I show something like this? I don't know. But I assume this is something like this. There you can totally see. I think, well, yeah, of course, they are just, can you see something? Yeah. They're just really good, I would say. They are nice, of course, but I don't know if I would read this. Like, not because it's Batman, but because it's just, yeah, something. It's really a lot of text, not really a lot of pictures. But well, yeah. And let's actually have a look at the other one as well, because I want to do it. Moon Cop. Wow. I really love it. Well, by the way, I hope that I've just actually shown you the right one, the right Batman one. But I really love this one from... I deeply like it. I like the style. I am not equipped for rough terrain. He takes him. There's actually a lot of silence, and there's actually not a lot of text, I assume. There's really not a lot of text. I'm a therapy unit. Command things you may be depressed. Oh, I see. Don't worry, I have prepared a very relaxed treatment schedule for you. Pretty nice. I really like the style. Is there something else? Yeah, there's some other ones. It's the same. Fuck. It's really nice. And there's actually the cover there. And it seems actually to be rather a book than just not a book, which is also good. Like it's an I think the other one, the other graphic novel, actually was like a comic, wasn't it? It was just like, well, I show you. It was not a hardcover, but it was like, a soft one. Yeah, never mind. I can't find it now. Yeah, there you can see. Let me show you. There. Because, I assume that it is a hardcover. I don't actually know, but I assume. But yeah, this is actually it with this episode. And I deeply like that I'm even able to show you these things, to go through certain other things. But yeah, I wish you the best health, full of happiness and success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you're going to be remembered. So basically, your legacy. And it is in your hands. Even though I do just have to say that you are not going to be liked by everyone, there are still going to be just some people that don't like you, just by default, just because it is you, just because you are you, whatever. Stay positive, stay optimistic. I love you, and I see you the next time. And thank you very much from the bottom of my fucking heart for listening and or watching.